The much anticipated American election had come and gone. All eyes set on the world power nation have seen the result. Many rejoiced, while several felt sad, scared, and apprehensive. Only Trump's die-hard followers appear unfazed by his victory, while they anticipate one of the best administrations in American history. Unfortunately, millions of foreign political stakeholders don't share this sentiment, struggling to come to terms with the realities that Trump's style of ruling may spell doom in many aspects. Today, January 20, 2025, the United States will usher in its 47th president into the Oval Office. What should the world expect from the incoming president's second term? From Africa to Asia to the Middle East, the question keeps dancing on everyone's mind. Let us consider these possibilities surrounding Trump's pending administration. The Russian headquarters in Moscow once gave a clue regarding its preferred choice between Trump and Harris. Putin appeared to gravitate towards Harris instead. However, now that Trump has triumphed, the Russian president may have to rearrange his plans for America. Trump is a strong-willed president who will never allow interferences in his policies from the other world leaders, and this is a pitfall for Putin. There are no certainties that Putin's policies will not suffer opposition from Trump's system of government. An example is Putin's rumored plans to distort America's world order ranking. Another factor that should bother Putin is the long-standing war between Russia and Ukraine. The ideologies are likely to negate what Trump has in mind. From the look of things, the Mexican drug barons and merchants are in for a long ride to calamities if Trump-led administration follows through with its promises. The clampdown agenda will be brutal on Mexican criminals infiltrating the US corridors, as fire brigade actions will smack down on syndicates. In the same vein, massive deportations lie ahead for illegal Mexican citizens under Trump's ruling. Trump plans to slam high-necked tariffs on the Mexican trading partnerships. The aim is to resurrect the dying manufacturing culture in America. When talking about the political links between the US and the Middle East, political observers will be quick to mention these four individuals. Sir Brett McGurk, Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman (MBS), United Arab Emirates President Mohammed bin Zayed, and Qatari Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad. Brett McGurk has been working in the corridors of power since the Bush-led tenure, and he continued with the outgoing President Joe Biden. However, his appointment might suffer some setbacks with Trump in power. Only time will tell. The last three men, Mohammed bin Salman, Mohammed bin Zayed, and Qatari Sheikh bin Ahmad, have better chances because their ideologies seem to align with Trump's. He is likely to retain them. But the ongoing wars in the Middle East and the deep-rooted terrorism that plagued the Gulf nation would be major obstacles, going by Trump's stance on the issue at hand. In 2019, during his first term, Trump didn't react or did anything about an assault directed at Aramco oil processing site in Saudi Arabia. Biden also didn't meet up with the Arabian Gulf people's expectations during his time. The last three men, being the big brother to many nations around the world, Trump has his hands full already, even before assuming office. The major two wars, Russia-Ukraine war and the Middle East ceaseless unrest, will be the major foreign focus for him, according to political experts. Europe anxiously awaits what Trump has in store with trepidation. For Ukraine, Minsk 3.0 agreement that will result in surrendering to Putin within 24 hours is a cause for concern. There is also China rivalry in terms of trade, and Trump has vowed not to slow down its tough policies. A brewing trade war may likely come up, denting many economic resources between the two countries. From all indications, Trump is looking at the possibility of revamping the manufacturing system in America that will be controlled by favorable policy and goals. Africa. Among the G3 continents is Africa. During its 1.0 term, many of Donald Trump's actions indicated a deep-rooted disaffection for Africa, with its many racial slurs uttered in public, clamping down on immigration, and disconnecting some financial aid from flowing to the African nation. Regardless, he still extended a generous hand of assistance by providing lucrative investments. Now that he is back to the White House, exciting times await Africa in this new dispensation. In terms of trade, uncertainties float in the air regarding if Trump would continue or discontinue his predecessor, Biden's Lobito Corridor rail line project that linked Angola to Republic of Congo and Benin to Zambia. There is also the African Growth and Opportunity Act (AGOA) scheme, which allowed African vendors to export their goods to the US without paying taxes. Trump places priority on trade tariffs, and Africa will not be left off the hook in that aspect as well. Africa has been enjoying financial assistance from the US for decades, but Trump has always advocated for slashing such generous offers to Africa and the world at large. Hundreds of thousands of Africans are at risk of deportation if Trump follows through with his threats against illegal immigrants. In his agenda, about a million people would be ejected from the American soil when he resumes of NATO and Trump, Germany and EU. Going memory lane, we can recall Biden's cordiality with the European Union, NATO and Germany. On the other hand, Trump appears unsure about the three organizations. Although assumptions cannot be made yet on whether the new government will form alliance with Germany, NATO and the EU, some factors need to be queried. Firstly, the Republicans vowed to ensure that Trump's re-election into the White House will revolve around strict formulation and the policy execution. However, the power of the citizens supersedes any policy that the government make. Secondly, when Trump decides, hardly could anything stop him from executing his plans. This is evident in his first term. Secondly, tech and the US. America is positioned as the leading nation in tech advancement, and Trump's earlier administration did everything within its means to maintain this status. Trump worked hard to improve research on AI, signing others and organizing conferences with foreign interested parties on AI's evolution. It started regulating exportation against Huawei in China, and Biden-led government stretched beyond its initial level to embrace wider export. When Trump begins his tenure in 2025, the aims and goals of the US Security Department will hold sway in the tech rivalry. The good thing about this anticipation is the tough competition that will fast-track innovations and develop the previous tech inventions. There is hope that Biden's policies aimed at restraining some excesses from China will be broadened. If the speculations making the rounds are true, then America will restrict the private enterprises from interfering in AI's innovations. The Middle East. In the past few years, since Trump's first term, the constant unrest in the Middle East has remained one of the most controversial international issues. He doesn't seem interested in involving himself deeply with the Arab region rancor, owing largely to his American first philosophy. Going to war with Iran appears to be the last agenda on his menu. His policies will largely depend on those who are appointed to key positions and those who have direct access to him as the president on any given issue. However, if he decides to turn around and take up the challenge, his close allies in his cabinet would likely be his mouthpieces. Jared Kushner, his son-in-law, and his legal representative, David Friedman, influenced massively Trump's interventions in Israel when he was in power. Stiffer challenges await him in his second term because Saudi Arabia would not let him off the hook easily this time around, and his Arab Gulf connections surely will remain relevant to seal important deals. Steering clear from wars in the Middle East has always been his tactic, but recent developments and the regional agitation between Israel and Palestine might force him to rethink many things. Whether you watch the drama and political intrigues from afar or near, the indisputable fact this time around is that Trump's comeback will be more interesting, fascinating, and amazing all at the same time. The world power nation has got a bunch of huge challenges to tackle, reaching out to most countries in the world in different gestures. We can only cross our fingers and wait for what lies ahead. In the meantime, congratulations once again to the President-elect, Donald Trump, as he celebrates his inauguration today. For Kamala Harris, she fought a good fight, and her formidable opposition did not go unnoticed. But Trump won, and the real American show has just begun. But